What if I told you the biggest reason traders fail isn't their system, it's that they're using someone else's system to chase someone else's dream on someone else's timeline. And the price of that mistake? Sometimes it's everything. This isn't financial advice. It's a psychological x-ray of why even the smartest, most disciplined traders still blow up. And it starts with a $300,000 wake-up call. 8 years on Wall Street, $400,000 in savings. 60 days later, $100,000 left. Lucas Trent wasn't a bad trader. He was just using someone else's map to find his own treasure. And if you're copying systems from YouTube, Discord, or some guru, you're making the exact mistake that torched $300,000 of his money. Lucas was everything a trader was supposed to be. Smart, disciplined, data-obsessed. He'd spent 8 years on Wall Street managing other people's money, then one day decided to manage his own. He quit his job, took $400,000 in savings, and went all in with a proven system he'd purchased from a six-figure trading mentor. The rules were clean, the back tests were solid, the entries, exits, risk limits, all automated. Lucas wasn't gambling, he was following the plan, until the plan broke him. In his first 2 weeks, Lucas made $12,000. By week 4, he gave back half. By week 8, he was down $50,000 and emotionally numb. He tweaked the system, tried another version, increased his position size to make it back. Within 60 days, he'd lost $300,000. And here's the worst part. The system worked. Other traders were posting wins with it every day. So, why was Lucas losing? He was doing everything right, but something felt wrong. Lucas wasn't blown up by bad trades. He was blown up by internal misalignment. He didn't realize. He hated high-frequency decisions. He second-guessed exits out of fear of missing the big one. He craved control, but the system demanded surrender. The problem wasn't the system. It was that the system didn't fit him. I realized I wasn't following a plan. I was fighting my own psychology, using someone else's map. This book isn't about giving you a magic formula. There is none. If you're here for the one system that always wins, stop reading now. But if you're ready to understand why you keep sabotaging, why you jump from strategy to strategy, and why you win small but lose big, then keep going. Because this is about something far more powerful. Building a system that fits you. Mastering the internal game, not just the external one. Turning trading into a mirror, one that reflects who you are and what still controls you. Mini action WC1. Take out a sheet of paper. At the top, write, "Why do I trade?" Then answer, honestly, no filters, no smart answers. Now write, what am I trying to prove? And what do I fear would happen if I failed? You don't need the answers to move forward, but you do need the courage to ask better questions. Because in the next section, we're going to expose one of the biggest lies in trading, the myth that ruins more accounts than bad entries ever will. Lucas thought he needed the right system. What he really needed was to understand himself, and that's where your journey begins. But here's what 90% of traders never discover. The perfect system they're chasing, it doesn't exist, and that's actually good news. Section 2. The lie of the perfect system. You've heard the myth, maybe you've believed it. If I just find the right system, the one golden setup, I'll finally be consistent. It's seductive. Clean charts, clear signals, automated rules, no emotion, just profits. But let's be honest, if perfect systems worked for everyone, why do 90% of traders still lose money? Stop. Read that again. 90% of traders lose money, but 100% of them have access to proven systems. Something doesn't add up, does it? The truth is brutal. The perfect system doesn't exist. And even if it did, it wouldn't work for you. Here's why. Every system is built on a set of beliefs about how the market works, about how risk should be managed, about how long you're willing to wait, how much volatility you can stomach, how often you're willing to be wrong. Most traders don't know what they believe, so they borrow systems that conflict with their psychology, and then they wonder why they break them. The system isn't broken, the alignment is. Meet Ashley, the system hopper. Ashley was a smart, determined solo trader. In her first year, she bought 6 trading courses: swing trading, day trading, price action, mean reversion, options, crypto. Each time she hit a losing streak, she switched. Each time she saw a winning streak online, she copied. And every system she tried worked for someone else, but not for her. She wasn't lazy, she was misaligned. Ashley hated fast decisions, but she forced herself to day trade. She loved building conviction, but followed systems with rigid stop losses and short time frames. The result? Endless whiplash, emotional burnout, total inconsistency. Until she asked one question: what kind of trader am I? When no one's watching. That's when she stopped copying and started crafting. Think of systems like shoes. Some are sleek and fast. Others are heavy but protective. But no matter how expensive or well designed, if they don't fit, you'll blister, you'll limp, you'll stop. Your risk tolerance is like your jean size. Everyone lies about it until they actually have to wear it. Systems are not about perfection. They're about alignment. It's not just the edge, it's the experience of trading it. If you can't execute it calmly, consistently, and confidently, it will fail you, even if it works for others. Challenge, type Ashley in the comments if you've system hopped at least 3 times this year. I bet 80% of you are nodding right now. There is no perfect system. There is only a system that perfectly fits you. That's not motivational fluff, it's survival. Because misalignment doesn't just hurt your P&L, it kills your confidence, your energy, your passion. In the next section, we're going to flip the script. You won't just learn what kind of trader you are, you'll build the blueprint for it, based on your beliefs, behaviors, and real personality. This is where your system starts, from the inside out. But first, you need to map your psychological DNA. And trust me, what you discover might shock you. Section 3, your trading psychology blueprint. Before you choose a strategy, before you backtest a system, before you risk a single dollar, you need to understand one thing. You don't trade the market. You trade your beliefs about the market. That's why 2 traders can use the same strategy. One thrives. The other panics, hesitates, overtrades, and blows up. The difference? One built around their psychology. The other ignored it. Picture your beliefs as a computer virus, silently running in the background, taking up 30% of your CPU, slowing every decision. You can't see it, but every mouse click lags. Most traders want tactics, entries, indicators, setups. But your psychology is the operating system underneath every trade. If your OS is buggy, no matter what software you install, it will crash. You can't outperform your internal blueprint, but you can upgrade it. Let's craft your first psychological trading blueprint. No fluff, no labels, just clarity. Grab a piece of paper, divide it into 5 sections. 1. Risk tolerance. What amount of drawdown can you stomach before panic sets in? How do you respond to uncertainty? Freeze, flee, or reframe? Key insight. Most traders overestimate their risk tolerance until it's real. 2. Decision speed. Do you thrive under pressure or prefer slow, predefined action? Do you replay trades after the fact, obsessively? Key insight. Scalping isn't for deep thinkers. Swing trading frustrates adrenaline seekers. 3. Winning versus being right. Do you need to be right often to feel confident? Or can you handle losing 7 times to win big once? Key insight. Trend followers often lose often, but win huge. Can your ego handle that? Where do you lose discipline? When you're winning or losing? Key insight. Your biggest edge is learning where you break your own rules. 5. Beliefs about money. What does money represent to you? Freedom, security, identity? What emotional baggage are you bringing into every trade? Key insight. Your trades reveal your deepest values and your fears. Blueprint reality. Check. Look at your answers. If you wrote high risk tolerance but your stomach drops after a 2% day, you're lying to yourself. Adjust accordingly. The market doesn't care about your ego, but your survival does. Write your answers honestly, not how you wish you were, but how you are. Trading isn't about changing who you are. It's about trading in alignment with who you are. That's what makes this book different. It's not asking you to suppress your emotions. It's helping you understand them and use them as a map. When you know your blueprint, you stop chasing strategies that aren't yours. You stop overtrading what doesn't fit. You stop judging yourself by someone else's metrics. Know thyself isn't a motivational poster. It's your first trading edge. Comment blueprint done when you've completed this exercise. I'm curious how many actually do the work versus just consume the content. You now have your surface level blueprint. But in the next section, we go deeper, beneath behavior into belief. Because if you're constantly sabotaging yourself, it's not a strategy problem. It's something older, quieter, and way more powerful. What you're about to discover has been controlling your trades since day one. Most traders don't lose because they lack discipline. They lose because they're operating from beliefs they don't even know they have. You can journal, meditate, read every book on technical analysis. But if deep down you believe money is hard to keep, I don't deserve success, or one mistake proves I'm a failure, then no system will save you. Eli had the perfect storm. Disciplined, data-driven, followed every rule. He risked 1% per trade, journaled obsessively, and followed his rules. But every time he got close to breaking through, he'd sabotage himself. Overtrade, skip stops, exit winners too early. After coaching, he uncovered something he never expected. When he was 9, his father lost everything in a market crash. His family never recovered. Subconsciously, Eli had linked trading success with abandonment, shame, and collapse. So every time he got close to real success, he hit the brakes. Not because he didn't want to win, but because a part of him thought winning would destroy everything. The virus my dad went broke trading was running in his head until it crashed his entire system. Think of your beliefs like a trading algorithm running silently in the background. You don't see it, but it shapes every decision: when to enter, when to hesitate, when to revenge trade, when to quit too early or too late. The market doesn't just trigger trades, it triggers beliefs you haven't faced. Some core beliefs that kill traders. If I lose, I'm a loser. I can only succeed if I'm perfect. More trades equals more control. If I play small, I won't get hurt. I need to prove something to someone. You might not say these out loud, but they show up in the moments you freeze, the moments you chase, the moments you over-leverage after a win. Beliefs aren't logical, they're emotional. That's what makes them powerful and dangerous. Belief audit exercise. Answer these prompts, no BS. What do I believe about? Losing money, taking risk, wealthy people, myself under pressure? Where did these beliefs come from? A parent? A mentor? A failure that still stings? How do these beliefs affect how I trade today? What would change if I believed the opposite? Don't try to fix anything. Just bring it into the light, because awareness alone changes behavior. Your beliefs are not facts. They're stories you've rehearsed. But just like a trade, you can exit a belief at any time. The market won't care if your belief is helpful or harmful, but your results will. Plot twist. The belief that's killing your trading might have nothing to do with trading at all. Now that you've exposed the mental forces behind your trading, it's time to build a structure that supports your psychology. Because most traders obsess over entries and exits, but the truth, almost no one loses because of bad entries. They lose because of how they size. Next, you'll learn the most underused and most powerful tool in professional trading, and why getting this wrong is like driving a Ferrari with bicycle brakes. Section 5, Position Sizing, the Hidden Engine of Profit. Let's get this straight. Most traders obsess over entries. They tweak indicators, backtest signals, they chase the holy grail setup. But that's not what blows up accounts. It's not the entry, it's the position size. Your size determines your survival. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but it's the engine under the hood, and most traders don't even look at it. Stop. Reread this. Position sizing kills more traders than bad entries ever will. Yet 90% of your time goes to finding perfect setups. That's like polishing your car while ignoring the brakes. Imagine this. You risk 10% of your account on a trade. You lose 2 trades in a row. Now you're down 19%, not 20%. That doesn't seem catastrophic. Until your brain kicks in. You hesitate. You get conservative on the next setup. You miss it. It would have been a winner. You overcorrect. You double your size to get it back. And just like that, you're in a death spiral. Not because the system failed, but because your sizing broke your mind. Position sizing isn't just math. It's emotional engineering. Size too big, you panic. Size too small, you disengage. Size just right, you think clearly. The right size is the one that lets you follow your system without fear, hesitation, or greed. It's not about maximizing profit. It's about maximizing your ability to stay in the game. You've probably heard it. Never risk more than 1% of your account per trade. Solid advice, but context matters. If you're trading a system with a 30% win rate and 5R payoffs, 1% might be too much emotionally. If you're trading a 90% win rate scalping system, 1% might be way too aggressive. So, what's the real rule? Your position size must match your strategy's profile and your psychology's limits. Position sizing is like shoe size. You can't borrow someone else's and expect to run. It might technically work, but you'll blister, stumble, and eventually quit. Sizing must fit you. Tom thought 90% win rate was the holy grail. After 6 months, he realized he was making $10 per win, but losing $100 per loss. Result: broke with a 90% win rate. That's when Tom learned, math doesn't lie, but emotions do. Mini win number 1, commit right now. Next 10 trades, size by the new rule. Doesn't matter win or lose. You're training new muscle memory for your brain. Look at your last 10 losing trades. How did each loss feel? Did you hesitate, chase, revenge trade? Look at the percent of your account you risked. Was the emotional pain the logical risk? Now ask, at what size can I lose 5 times in a row and still trade clearly? That's your current emotional risk threshold, not theoretical, real. Now reduce your size to that level, or just slightly below. Yes, your returns might be lower, but so will your mental volatility. In trading, consistency beats intensity. Every time. You don't trade to get rich fast. You trade to stay alive long enough to get rich slowly. Position sizing is how you stay alive. It's how you protect your edge, your energy, and your identity. It's how you go from reactive to resilient. If this section made you realize you've been sizing wrong, type survived below, because recognizing this before blowing up means you're already ahead of 80% of traders. Now that you understand how sizing shapes survival, we're going to layer in the core formula that separates pros from gamblers: expectancy. It's not just how much you win, it's how it all adds up. And what you're about to learn might flip everything you thought you knew about good trading systems. Section 6, expectancy, the math behind mindful risk. Most traders judge systems like this: high win rate, good; low win rate, bad. But that's like judging a car only by its speed, and ignoring the brakes, the tires, and whether the engine explodes after 100 miles. Here's the truth. A 90% win rate system can lose you money. A 30% win rate system can make you rich. It all depends on one thing: expectancy. Expectancy is the average amount you can expect to win or lose per trade over time. It's the math that tells you, is this system profitable in the long run? Can I survive emotionally and financially until the edge plays out? Here's the basic formula. Expectancy equals win percentage x AVG win, loss cent x AVG loss. But forget dollar signs. From now on, everything is R multiples. Risk $100 to make 300, that's plus 3R. Lose 1R, period. Why? Because $300 profit triggers dopamine rush, but plus 3R is just data. Emotion doesn't stick to data. Let's break it down with 2 traders, same win rate, opposite results. Trader A wins 70% of the time, average win equals 1R, average loss equals 3R. Expectancy, 0.7x1R, 0.3x3R equals 0. 7R, 0.9R equals 0.2R per trade. He's winning more, but losing money. Trader B wins 30% of the time. Average win equals 6R. Average loss equals 1R. Expectancy, 0.3x6R, 0.7x1R equals 1.8R. 0.7R equals plus 1.1R per trade. She's losing more trades, but making money. This is why expectancy matters more than win rate, entry signal, or even your favorite indicator. Without positive expectancy, all you have is noise, dressed up like strategy. Here's what they don't tell you. Expectancy has to fit your emotions. High expectancy systems often have low win rates. Can you handle long losing streaks? High win rate systems have low reward to risk. Can you accept that one big loss might wipe 5 winners? Even if the math is good, if your emotions can't handle the system, you'll break it. So, the key isn't just calculating expectancy, it's designing one that fits both your beliefs and your nervous system. Expectancy reality. Check. Take your last 20 trades. Calculate. Win percent, average win in R, loss percent, average loss in R. Plug into win percent X AVG win R. Loss cent X AVG loss R equals expectancy. If it's negative, your system doesn't work. If it's positive, now ask, can you emotionally trade it? That's the part most traders skip. You don't get paid per trade. You get paid per edge, multiplied over time. Expectancy turns trading from emotional roulette into calculated iteration. It gives you confidence in the long run and perspective in the short term. Without it, you're reacting. With it, you're executing. Challenge. Share your expectancy in R terms below. If it's negative, no shame. Awareness is the first step. If it's positive but you're still struggling, the problem isn't math, it's fit. Now that you've seen how expectancy makes or breaks a system, we need to ask a deeper question. Can you actually trade the system you admire? Because the truth is, it's not just about what works, it's about what works for you. And that's exactly where 70% of traders discover they've been wearing the wrong uniform to the game. Section 7. System fit. The trader wearing someone else's shoes. Derek followed the system perfectly, back-tested it, paper traded it, studied every rule, every variable, every tweak. It worked for the mentor who sold it to him. It worked for dozens of others in the Discord group. But it didn't work for Derek. He stuck with it for 3 months. He followed the rules, he journaled, he didn't skip a trade, and yet, he lost money. He hesitated on entries. He exited early. He overrode stops. He felt anxious before every session. The problem wasn't the system. The problem was that it didn't fit Derek. Copying someone else's system is like borrowing their underwear. Sounds fine until you actually try it. Think of trading systems like running shoes. Some are built for sprints, others for marathons, some for off-road trails. They all work for the right runner. But if you force yourself to run a marathon in sprint spikes, you're going to suffer, no matter how high performance the shoes are. Most traders don't fail because the system is bad. They fail because they're wearing someone else's shoes. It's not just win rate, time frame, indicators, style. It's also your decision-making style, your risk tolerance, your emotional regulation, your lifestyle, your beliefs about money and effort. You don't need the best system. You need the system you can execute without resistance. Here's how you know your system doesn't fit. You constantly tweak or abandon it mid-trade. You feel drained or anxious every time you trade. You celebrate wins but secretly feel dread about doing it again. You start skipping setups, or forcing them. You need to be in the perfect mood to trade. Sound familiar? That's not a discipline problem. That's a fit problem. Pattern interrupt. If you're still reading this thinking, but this guru's system must work for me, you're missing the point entirely. The guru isn't trading with your psychology, your life situation, or your risk tolerance. Their Ferrari might be perfect for them, but if you're built for a Tesla, stop forcing it. Ask yourself, how many decisions does this system require per day? Does that match your cognitive stamina? What's the average holding time? Does that suit your attention span and lifestyle? How often does it win versus lose? Can your ego emotionally tolerate the losing streaks? What's the daily screen time requirement? Is that sustainable long-term for you? How much do you trust the system, even after 5 losers in a row? If your honest answers don't align with your current system, don't double down. Adapt the system to you, or build one from scratch. Too many traders chase what's working for others, instead of discovering what's right for them. But the moment you stop copying and start crafting, everything changes. You regain clarity. You rebuild trust. You eliminate the friction between your system and your psychology. This is how real traders are born. System fit isn't about comfort. It's about alignment. When you trade from alignment, you stop second-guessing, you stop sabotaging, you stop burning out. And instead, you execute. You evolve. You last. Type wrong shoes. If you've been forcing a system that doesn't fit your personality, no judgment, recognition is the first step to resolution. You've seen why misfit systems fail, and why alignment matters. Now, we'll dive into the core idea that rewires everything you know about trading success. Tharp Think. It's not just a mindset, it's a new lens, one that turns your beliefs into your edge. And once you see trading through this lens, you can never go back to the old way. Section 8. The Holy Grail is you. Welcome to Tharp Think. You've been told the market is the enemy, that you need to outsmart it, beat it, tame it. But what if the market isn't the battlefield? What if you are? That's the essence of Tharp Think, the mental operating system behind every successful trader Van Tharp ever coached. It doesn't tell you what to trade, it tells you how to think before you do. At its core, Tharp is a total inversion of conventional trading logic. Where most traders obsess over external factors, signals, setups, indicators, Tharp flips the focus inward. It's not about finding the best strategy, it's about building a belief-aligned system, one that fits your risk tolerance, decision-making style, and psychology. You don't trade the markets, you trade your beliefs about the markets. Van K. Tharp. Plot twist, Tharp. Think isn't some new age strategy. It's how profitable traders have thought for 100 years, just nobody packaged it into a system. Your great-grandfather who traded rice futures successfully, he was using Tharp. He just called it common sense. Let me show you the difference. Conventional trader asks, how do I win more trades? Tharp. Think trader asks, how do I manage my emotions better? Conventional, what's the best setup? Tharp. What's my edge and how do I protect it? Conventional, this system worked for him. Tharp. What system fits me? Conventional, how can I avoid losses? Tharp. How do I become neutral to loss? Conventional, I need to fix my discipline. Tharp. I need to understand what's driving my impulses. It's not just strategy, it's a complete rewire of how you approach markets and yourself. The 3 pillars of Tharp. Think. 1. Self-awareness over signals. Trading is a mirror. Every hesitation, impulse, or overtrade is a clue. The better you know yourself, the clearer your trades become. 2. System, fit, over system performance. A bad system that aligns with your beliefs can outperform a perfect one you can't follow. 3. Position, sizing over entry precision. Most traders obsess over entries. Pros obsess over risk per trade, because in the long run, size controls survival. The ultimate goal of Tharp isn't to become a better trader. It's to become a transformed version of yourself who can trade successfully. That shift goes deeper than indicators. It means rewriting old beliefs about money, control, and identity, developing emotional neutrality, building habits around clarity, not chaos. You become a trader not by learning new techniques, but by unlearning everything that makes you reactive. The market is a mirror, not an enemy. It shows you exactly who you are when pressure appears. Ask yourself, what are my top 3 beliefs about money? What do I believe happens when I take a loss? What do I expect trading to give me? Freedom, status, revenge. Now flip each belief. Money is hard to keep. Money flows to value and clarity. Losing means I'm a failure. Losing is data. Trading will save me. Trading will mirror me. These reframes aren't affirmations. They're new lenses. The kind that reshape how you see every trade, every chart, and every decision. The Holy Grail isn't a system, it's you, with the right beliefs, the right fit, and the right focus. Tharp doesn't give you answers, it gives you better questions. It turns your trading journey into a path of self-awareness, not system addiction. And that changes everything. Final wisdom bomb for part 1. The Holy Grail of trading isn't out there in some perfect system. It's sitting in your chair right now, reading this. You just haven't recognized it yet. You now have the thinking model, but to embed it, we need to go deeper. Who do you believe you are when you trade? Because your system, your risk, your actions will always reflect your identity. And if you don't update that, nothing changes. Ready for the deep dive into identity. Section 9, the trader's mirror, identity, behavior, outcome. Imagine this, 2 traders, same strategy, same account size, same market conditions. One follows the system with calm focus. The other second-guesses every trade, cuts winners short, and lets losers run. Same tools, different outcomes. Why? Because they weren't trading the same market. They were trading from different identities. Every action you take in the market is a reflection of what you believe about yourself. The trader who can't miss a move, scarcity identity. The one who chases after losses, shame identity. The one who scales up too fast, proving worth identity. It's not about discipline. It's about who you become when risk gets real. And unless you update that identity, you'll keep repeating the same behaviors, even in different systems. You will always trade in alignment with your self-image. Unwritten rule of the market. The sabotage pattern is like a fire alarm in reverse. Instead of warning danger, it rings every time you get close to success. Here's how it works. Identity, beliefs, emotions, decisions, outcomes. Let's break that down. If you see yourself as a loser trying to win, You'll approach the market with desperation. If you see yourself as someone who always messes it up, you'll subconsciously create chaos to prove that true. If you believe I'm a sniper, not a gambler, your behavior will mirror patience and clarity. Identity is the first domino. Every other decision follows. Marcus was a bright engineer turned trader. He understood systems, math, risk, everything. But he kept overtrading, taking unnecessary setups, FOMO, impulse, frustration. On paper, it didn't make sense. Until he admitted something. I've spent my whole life trying to prove I'm smart, and every trade feels like a test. Once we flipped that script, from I must prove to I get to practice clarity, his risk dropped, his execution improved, same system, different self. Yeah, identity check. Look at your last 5 trades. Mark each decision as old me or new me. If more than 3 are new me, you're transforming. Celebrate it. Take 5 minutes. Answer these questions with radical honesty. When I lose a trade, I feel like the story I tell myself after a mistake is, my biggest trading fear isn't losing money. It's, if I succeed wildly, I fear. If trading were a mirror, it's showing me that these are your current identity signals. Now, write this sentence. I am a trader who, stores even when, yes, because I believe. I am a trader who executes with calm, even when I feel fear, because I believe clarity creates freedom. This is your new identity script. Say it, feel it, trade from it. You don't need more discipline. You need more alignment between who you are and how you act. Because your system doesn't trade for you, and your identity does. You don't become a great trader by fixing your behavior. You become one by upgrading your identity. From, am I doing this right, to this is who I am. And when that shift locks in, consistency is no longer forced. It becomes natural. Type new me if you're ready to stop trading from your old identity. Because most people reading this will nod along, but keep operating from their old self. Don't be most people. You've now uncovered your inner mirror. It's time to start crafting a system that reflects that clarity. Not one based on trends or Twitter, but one based on you. Let's begin building it. And this time, we're doing it right, from the inside out. Section 10. Build a system around you, not the market. Most traders build systems backwards. They start by asking, what works best in this market? But markets change. Conditions evolve. Volatility spikes. Trends vanish. Volume dries up. So if your system is based on the market, you're always one shift away from chaos. The right question isn't, what works? It's, what works for me, sustainably, in any market? That's how real traders win. Reality check. You know why most traders fail? They're like someone trying to wear a tuxedo to the gym, then wondering why they can't lift properly. The outfit might look good on Instagram, but it's completely wrong for the activity. The goal isn't to find a universal system. It's to build a personalized engine, one that respects your emotional range, honors your identity and risk profile, fits your lifestyle and focus span, reflects how you see the market. Because when your system fits you, you don't fight it. You flow with it. You stop forcing trades. You start trusting your process. Let's build your foundation with a 5-part system blueprint. 1. Market lens. What conditions do I understand best? Trending versus ranging? High versus low volatility? Macro themes versus price patterns? Example. If you hate choppiness and noise, avoid intraday scalping in low-vol environments. Your edge is clarity, not adrenaline. 2. Time frame alignment. How long can I stay focused emotionally and mentally? 5-minute charts require instant reflexes. Daily charts require patience and consistency. Weekly positions require trust and detachment. Design around how you actually operate, not how you wish you did. Risk structure. How much can I risk before I panic or overreact? Fixed percent per trade, volatility-based sizing, max daily or weekly loss caps. Your risk rules are your shock absorbers. Make sure they match your emotional tolerance. Remember, risk per trade in R terms, not dollars. Target quarterly performance in R multiples, not percentages. 4. Entry and exit rules. What patterns or signals resonate with how I naturally think? Visual traders prefer clean chart setups. Logical thinkers may favor multi-factor confluence. Intuitive traders often combine structure with feel. Don't overcomplicate. Clarity the cleverness. 5. Execution ritual. What habits keep me grounded and consistent? Pre-market review, journaling after each session, walk before re-entry, 1 trade per day max. Build rituals that anchor you to your identity, not your emotions. System sketch exercise. Draft your system using the 5 elements above. Then ask, does this feel like me? Could I trade this every day for a year without burning out? Am I excited or exhausted thinking about it? If it doesn't fit, revise. This is your business, your machine, your map. A system that works against your nature will always fail, no matter how good it looks on paper. When you build a system around who you are, not who you're trying to impress, you finally trade without resistance. You stop chasing alpha. You start cultivating alignment. That's the edge no one can copy. But here's the kicker. Even the best fit system can fail if you don't test it properly. Your system is now sketched, but can you trust it? Next, we'll show you how to stress test your system, not just for math, but for mindset, because even the best rules fail if they conflict with your internal world. And what we're about to reveal will save you from the number 1 reason perfect systems implode. Most traders backtest to feel safe. They want a green curve. They want proof. They want to see the system would have worked. But here's the problem. A system that works in the past can still break you in the present, because most backtests only test the math. They don't test your mindset. And if your beliefs don't align with how the system operates, you will override it, even if the backtest looks perfect. Backtest without belief testing is like practicing driving in a video game, smooth sailing until you meet a real truck. You run the test. It wins over 300 trades. Win rate, 48%. Profit factor, 1.7. Drawdown, 12%. Looks solid. But then you take 3 losses in a row live. Your stomach drops. You shrink your next trade. You hesitate. You miss the big one. Not because the system broke, but because your belief system wasn't ready to trust the real thing. What is belief-based backtesting? It's the missing layer, the human layer. Yes, test the numbers, but also test these. Can I emotionally handle this drawdown? Do I believe in this risk-reward profile? Does this system reflect how I naturally interpret the market? Would I follow this after 5 losses in a row, without tweaking it? If the answer is no, then the system isn't flawed. The fit is. You're not just testing logic, you're testing psychological durability. Stop. This is critical. 73% of profitable systems fail in live trading. Not because the edge disappeared, but because the trader couldn't psychologically execute it. Don't be part of that statistic. Here's how misalignment shows up in real time. You exit early, even though the system says, hold. You skip valid trades after a streak of losses. You size down or up emotionally. You modify the rules without reason. Each of these is a belief reaction, not a logic flaw. That's why some traders crush it with a 35% win rate strategy, and others implode trading the exact same system. Belief stress test. After running your backtest, answer. How many losses in a row until I start doubting? Your breaking point in R multiples. Can I accept being wrong more than 50% of the time? Do I trust this reflects my market view? Does this feel too slow, fast, uncertain, rigid? What belief would I need to fully trust this for 6 months, even with early inconsistency? Now, compare your real psychology to your system's personality. If there's friction, address it now, not in the middle of a losing streak. You don't just backtest data. You backtest who you become inside the system. If you can't follow the rules in the real world, the numbers on the screen mean nothing. This is the missing filter between amateur and pro. Pros only trade what they can trust, and trust doesn't come from spreadsheets. It comes from belief alignment. Even with the right system, size, and belief fit, some traders still implode. Why? Because sabotage isn't always logical. It's emotional. It's historical. It's invisible until you name it. In the next section, we'll map the hidden traps you didn't even know were yours, and how to diffuse them permanently. Warning, what you're about to discover might be uncomfortable, but it's also the key to breaking patterns that have haunted you for years. Section 12, Sabotage Mapping. Why you still blow up. You've got the system. The sizing is right. The beliefs are aligned. You're finally on track. So, why? Do you still blow up? Why do you revenge trade? Why do you break your own rules at the worst possible moment? Why do you give back a month of gains in one afternoon? The answer isn't strategy. It's sabotage. And here's the truth. Every trader has a sabotage pattern, but most never map it. So it keeps repeating. This is going to sound crazy, but stay with me. Your sabotage isn't stupidity, it's self-protection. Some part of you believes losing is safer than winning. Let that sink in. Some traders sabotage because success would create pressure they don't want. Others because winning disproves their old identity. I'm not someone who wins. Some because they believe they'll eventually fail anyway. So might as well control it. Others fear they'll lose relationships, time, or freedom if they succeed too much. This is the paradox. Sabotage isn't failure. It's emotional protection masquerading as failure. Jason was a profitable trader, up 18% on the year by May. Then, in just 1 week, gone. He over-leveraged, broke all his rules, ignored stop losses. When asked why, he said, "I don't know. It's like I needed to blow it up." Turns out, every time he reached a new high in performance, he reset. Not because he couldn't handle the market, but because he couldn't handle what success represented. To him, success meant more responsibility, more expectations, less room to hide, and that terrified him. Overtrade after a win, unconscious guilt, or need to normalize the gain. Revenge trade after a loss, ego identity threatened, needing to restore worth. Skip winning setups, fear of being wrong again, or of being seen succeeding. Change system mid-streak, belief that success must be hard, not simple. Burnout through over-control, obsessive need to earn wins, exhaustion, mistake. Pattern interrupt. If you're thinking this doesn't apply to me, that's literally your sabotage pattern protecting itself. The traders who blow up the hardest are the ones most convinced they've figured it out. Sabotage alarm. Write one sentence you'll shout when you recognize your pattern. Post it on your monitor. Seriously. Do it now. Example. Stop. This is revenge trading. I choose clarity over chaos. Answer this honestly. When do I break rules most often? After a win, loss, streak, trigger? What emotion precedes my sabotage? Boredom, frustration, emptiness, pressure? What story do I tell myself when I win big, when I lose? What fear hides under my biggest trading self-destructions? Now, complete this sentence. When I feel worse, I tend to worse, because deep down, I believe worse. This is your core sabotage script. Own it, name it, interrupt it. Because what you can map, you can manage. You don't need to be perfect. You need a prevention system. Examples. Rule. After 2 losses in a row, I step away for 20 minutes. No exceptions. Ritual. Every Monday, I review my top 3 sabotage triggers from the past week. Accountability. Share your sabotage map with a trading partner or coach. The goal isn't to eliminate sabotage. It's to interrupt it faster each time. You're not sabotaging your success. You're protecting yourself from a version of success you don't yet trust. But that can change. When you build systems that feel safe, create rules that reflect your rhythm, and dismantle old fear-based stories, you stop blowing up. You start building real stability, internally and in your equity curve. You've mapped your patterns. Now it's time to lead. Because successful traders don't just think better. They take responsibility like CEOs. Let's step into that role. For your system, your mind, and your future. And I'll show you exactly why Sarah's story proves this shift isn't optional. Section 13. From Gambler to CEO, your new trading identity. Let's stop pretending. Most retail traders don't trade. They gamble. They react. They chase. They improvise. They show up each day hoping the market will give them something. A win, a dopamine hit, a sense of control. But pros don't show up as gamblers. They show up as CEOs. Trading isn't just a game, it's a business. And you are the executive in charge. Here's the wake-up call. Sarah had the perfect system. R multiple tracked, psychology aligned. 3 months of consistent profit. Then she thought she'd graduated, started skipping weekly reviews, ignored position size creep. I've got this figured out, she told herself. Market taught her a $50,000 lesson. Even a perfect system needs a CEO who doesn't sleep at the wheel. 1 week without review equals 1 month to recover. Sarah was lucky she learned the lesson. Many don't get a second chance. Imagine running a real business like this. You sell different products every day. You change your pricing based on mood. You ignore the numbers and make emotional decisions. You wing it and call it strategy. You'd go bankrupt in a month. But this is how most traders operate. Why? Because they haven't made the identity shift from opportunist to operator. Let's compare. Gambler mindset says, I hope this trade works. CEO mindset says, what does my system tell me? Gambler, emotion drives action. CEO, data drives decisions. Gambler, overreacts to wins, losses. CEO, tracks outcomes against planned metrics. Gambler, seeks excitement. CEO, seeks consistency. Gambler, focuses on today. CEO, operates by quarter, year, long term. The CEO doesn't need to feel in control every minute. They build systems that control for them. Your trading business blueprint requires 3 things. 1. Vision. What are you building? Income stream, scalable fund, mastery challenge. Be clear. Businesses that lack vision die in chaos. What's your why, plus who plus, where it's going? Process. How do you operate consistently? Weekly review ritual. Sarah's 50K mistake was skipping this. Daily execution checklist. Rules for when not to trade. Risk management thresholds and R multiples. The CEO has structures, not just intentions. In metrics. What are you tracking? Percent return is not enough. Track. Expectancy and R multiples, win, loss ratio, system deviation, how often you break your own rules. Emotional metrics, 1-10 scale at end of each session. What gets tracked gets improved. What gets ignored gets repeated. Natalie started trading as a side hustle, made some money, lost more, wasn't sure what was wrong. Then one day she printed her equity curve and realized something terrifying. I was trading like I was at a blackjack table, with no exit plan. So she shifted, built a quarterly trading plan in R terms, created a morning mental warm-up routine, reviewed every deviation from her system weekly. 12 months later, she wasn't just profitable, she was peaceful. Because she was no longer chasing trades, she was running a business. The playbook isn't paper, it's armor. Every rule is a shield. Skip one rule equals expose one weakness. The market will find that gap, always. As the CEO of my trading business, my job is the systems I must install to protect myself are, then take 15 minutes to draft your trading SOP, standard operating procedure. Not perfect, just real. The moment you start acting like the CEO, your trading stops feeling like a roller coaster and starts becoming predictably scalable. The best traders aren't the boldest, they're the most responsible. Becoming a CEO isn't about being serious. It's about taking yourself seriously. Because no one's coming to save your account. It's yours. So own it. Type CEO mode. If you're ready to stop gambling and start operating, because what comes next is the culmination of everything, your complete playbook. Now that you're in the driver's seat, let's consolidate everything into a complete, personalized playbook. A system you can trust, follow, and refine. Coming up next, your blueprint to consistency. No more wandering, no more hoping, just execution. Section 14, your trading playbook, step-by-step to execution. Let's bring it all together. You've faced the real reasons traders fail. You've built psychological awareness. You've learned about sizing, expectancy, sabotage, and system fit. Now it's time to stop consuming knowledge and start compiling it. Because professionals don't just have knowledge. They have a playbook, a personal, repeatable, structured trading guide built around them, not the market. And by the end of this section, you'll have yours. When emotions rise, memory fails. When pressure hits, clarity disappears. That's why checklists outperform willpower. Pilots have checklists. Surgeons have checklists. Top athletes follow structured routines. Great traders, they execute from a playbook, not a mood. Your playbook is your armor. Skip one element and you've left a gap for the market to exploit. Use the following structure to create your own personalized plan. 1. Identity statement. I am a trader who, even when, because I believe. This anchors your decisions in who you're becoming, not just what's happening. 2. System overview. Market type, e.g. trending, mean reverting. Instruments, e.g. S&P 500, gold, ER, USD. Time frame, e.g. 1H, 4H, daily. Setup. Criteria, bullet points only. Entry trigger, clear and simple. Exit rules, take profit and stop loss levels in R multiples, risk parameters, percent risk per trade in R, daily loss cap in R. Track everything in R multiples, report in R, think in R. That's the language of pros. 3. Execution protocol, daily pre-market checklist, journal review, emotions, sabotage triggers, market context analysis, news scan, system readiness, live trade checklist, setup matches. Playbook, risk is defined and sized properly, in R. Emotional state is neutral, entry logged, no hesitation. Post-trade routine, outcome logged, win, loss, in R, setup type, deviation from plan, Y. Emotional notes, 1% lesson captured. Sabotage, interrupt tools. List your top 3 sabotage patterns, then create a counter move for each. Example, pattern, chase after win, response, enforce 15-minute break rule. Pattern, skip valid setup after loss. Response, say identity statement aloud. Pattern, micromanage winners. Response, set alert and walk away. 5. Weekly review framework. Every Friday or chosen day, answer. What worked this week? What didn't? And why? What emotional pattern showed up? What rule did I break or reinforce? What system adjustment, if any, is needed? This is where your edge compounds. Quarterly target, not $30,000, but plus and 30 R. Maximum risk per trade, not 1%, but 1 R. This is how you think when you're serious. Final action, don't wait. Don't overthink. Open a Google Doc or notebook titled My Trading Playbook. Fill in the 5 sections above. Use bullet points. Be direct. Keep it simple. You can refine it later. What matters is, you now have a structure that reflects you. This playbook becomes your second brain. A safe place to return when the market gets loud. A structure you can trust when your emotions flare. It's not just about better trades. It's about becoming the kind of person who can trade consistently. Consistency doesn't come from discipline. It comes from design. This playbook is your design, your edge, your future. But there's one final shift to make. You started this journey seeking better trades. But by now, you know that trading is a mirror, and mastery of it is mastery of self. Next, we close the loop, not with tactics, but with truth. Let's reframe what freedom really means, and what happens when you stop chasing it and start embodying it. This is where everything changes. Section 15. Freedom isn't the goal, it's the side effect. You started trading for a reason. Maybe it was freedom. Maybe it was control. Maybe it was to prove something, escape something, build something. But somewhere along the way, the goal got tangled. It became about the money, the wins, the dopamine, the dashboard, the drawdown. And slowly, without realizing it, you started trading not from clarity, but from need. Need to succeed, need to not fail, need to feel something again. That's when trading becomes a trap, the ultimate wisdom bomb. You'll never feel free if every trade is a test of your worth. You'll never feel free if you only allow yourself peace after a green day. You'll never feel free if your definition of success is someone else's highlight reel. And you'll never feel free if your entire self-worth rises and falls with the market. Because freedom isn't something you chase, it's something you build by who you become. Meet Jordan. He used to check his phone 40 times a day, watched every tick, took every signal personally. Then one day, after blowing up again, he closed the charts and asked himself, what if I stopped trying to trade perfectly and started becoming someone worth trusting? He rebuilt from scratch, slower, smaller, softer. He designed a system he could run in 30 minutes a day. He sized positions so small they were boring. He stopped journaling outcomes and started journaling emotions. He became calm, not because he made millions, but because he no longer needed trading to complete him. Trading will never give you freedom if you're trading to feel enough. But when you build from self-trust, when you operate from clarity, when you design systems that reflect your truth, freedom becomes the byproduct, not the prize. You feel it in the space between setups, in your ability to walk away, in the days when the market is flat, but you remain stable. This is the shift from trader to operator, from gambler to guardian, from chaser to creator. Ask yourself, what did I think trading would fix in me? Who am I becoming through this process? If freedom isn't out there, What parts of me already have it? Now breathe. Acknowledge the work you've done, the illusions you've let go, the clarity you've gained, because this isn't the end. It's a new beginning, built on you. You don't trade to become free. You become free, and then you trade from that place. Your system is ready. Your mind is aligned. Your sabotage is mapped. Your identity is rewritten. Now go trade like someone who doesn't need to chase, someone who creates from presence, someone who plays the long game with a quiet fire. You don't just trade for freedom anymore. You trade from it. Final challenge. If this script changed how you see trading, comment from freedom below. But more importantly, go execute, because insight without action is just entertainment. The market is waiting. But now, so are you. Ready, aligned, free. Welcome to the other side of the mirror.